I got a new Strat. Am I getting buyer's remorse? So, welcome to this new series, and this is gonna be completely different from my usual regular Wii videos. This is gonna be completely unscripted, unfiltered, and untuned. So, as I already told you, I got this new guitar, and let me first tell you why I got this new guitar. So, I've been playing this particular guitar. This is a P-Way raptor.exp, and you've seen it in many of my videos. I've been using this from probably 2009 or 10, since I was in 10th grade, I believe, or 11th grade, and this has been my main go-to guitar. This has been my main guitar for the better half of my life. So it's beginning to show its age. Of course, I had a few repairs done. I had to change the pickups once because it completely stopped working, and I broke the whammy very soon. Like, it was in probably the first year or second year that I got the guitar. I broke the whammy, and then what else? Like, obviously strings, but besides that, it's pretty stock. But it's beginning to show its age. Like, sometimes I can feel the fret here, I can still feel the fret edge, so probably humidity is doing some damages to this guitar and the wood is getting dried out or maybe over humidified. So it's beginning to show its age. The saddle, one of the screw on the saddle here, it's missing, and it's beginning to show its age, but it still sounds beautiful. but but I couldn't help think and like think about have the thought that someday it's gonna get to a condition where this might not be playable anymore, and I was on the lookout for a new Strat, and obviously I have to get a Strat because that's my playing style. So I had been on the lookout, and I have tried at stores the Affinity Squier, and I think it's got a much chunkier neck. And the first time I played it, I hated it because of the chunky neck. I think I've played the Sonic Strat. Some of my students have the Sonic Strat, and it's okay. It's not bad. Then I've also played the Yamaha Pacifica. Now that is a much better guitar, but it's a lot more shredder friendly guitar, and it still works. It's still a really good guitar, but I think I need something that's much more blues oriented. So I had been on the lookout for different Squiers because the Squier Classic Vibe is something that I had my eyes on, but I still wasn't sure what I wanted to get, and I didn't want to rush into it. And then suddenly on Facebook Marketplace, like, this thing showed up. So let me tell you what this guitar is. This is a Classic Vibe 60s Strat. However, it's heavily modded. Like, it will be easier for me to tell you what is not modded on this guitar. So the body is the original body, the neck is the original neck, obviously the frets are the original fret, and then the nut is the original bone nut that the Squier Classic Vibe has. Rest, pretty much everything has been modded, like, or changed. Like, the tuners are some Cluson style tuners. The string tree has been upgraded by the previous owner, and the pickups, I believe it's I forget what the name is. The pots have all been changed. The whole saddle and the whamming has been changed, and you can see here, like, it's a different what he said, a thick style saddle or something. But yeah, it has been heavily modded, and it was at a very good discount. So the Classic Vibe in the 60s, if buying new here, costs about 45,000 rupees in Indian currency. Maybe I'll put the USD value on screen. And this was he was selling it at 35,000, so it's even cheaper than stock Classic Vibe 60s, despite there being lots of mods. And I reached out to Doc, and because he knows a lot about guitars and modding guitars, so I asked him, gave him all the specs, everything that's been modded, and he told me these are really good mods, and the guitar probably costs over 7,000, 70,000, 80,000 rupees in Indian currency. So I jumped on it, and I didn't think too hard. There was also the danger of someone else catching it, because, like, it was hot, and I think I just made a decision over 2 or 3 days, and I purchased the guitar. Now, am I getting buyer's remorse? Yes and no. Like, so, am I really liking it? I'm not too sure, because, like, I know I've been playing this guitar for like 20 years, and I remember the first time I played a Les Paul, I hated it, and then eventually when I played it the second time, it was a lot better, and then finally I got a used Les Paul, and I've had the same feeling with almost every other guitar that I played. There's only been like 1 or 2 instances in my whole life that, I've played a new guitar and I've instantly loved it, and sadly some of those opportunities I missed. Those got away. I remember there was a jazz bass that felt really good, but I think it was not on sale or something, and I didn't push further. But I've never, even when I held this guitar, like, it was not like, oh, I instantly fell in love, but it sounds okay, it sounds good, it feels okay. As I've been playing it more and more, like, so what Doc has told me, most of the specs have been more vintage oriented, so like more made to sound more like the 50s or 60s. It's already a 60s style Strat, so it has a much lower frequencies, a warmer sound, whereas I think this has much more of a brighter sound, and I guess I have grown to love that brighter sound, and that is what I associate as the Strat sound. So, talking about the pickups, I on this Strat, like, I'm like 90% of the time on the neck pickup, like 80 to 90%, sometimes on the bridge, very rarely on the middle, and I can almost never use the position 2 and 4 because the pickups are out of phase. Here the pickups are not out of phase, so this is the first time I'm ever playing the position 2s and 4s on a Strat style guitar. So right now I'm going into the Marshall MS2. I have my pedals all turned off. So right now I'm on the neck. I feel like it sounds much more lower in frequency compared to this neck, and the middle pickup feels more like this neck pickup. I did change the pickup heights a bit. I also changed the configuration of these springs, because I remember when it came, the whammy was very hard, and I talked with Doc and he told me to change this spring configuration. By I looked at how it was on my PV and I just set it up in the same way, and now it feels much better. But the whammy does feel a little misaligned. But anyways, so the whammy also feels shorter. I think this is more like a David Gilmour style of shorter whammies. And so that is what I feel now. What are my plans with it? I think one big reason why I'm not enjoying it as much is probably also because of the string gauge, because he told me these are 10s and I use 8 gauge strings on my PV. Maybe that could make the sound a little brighter, probably, hopefully. And I'm also now, I mean, this guitar is still working, so I could also use this as an experimental guitar. Maybe like I've got some stuff that I've got that I could make micro frets out of, so this could be a microtonal guitar. Another idea I've been having, this could be an absurd experiment video, is to put it in some kind of quarter tone tuning. I could also put it in what Doc was telling me is I could permanently put this or the Les Paul in a DADGAD or Open D or Open G, but I don't find that useful, because like I can tune it to DADGAD or Open D or Open G within like 10 or 15 seconds, and like it's almost as much as the same time as it would take me to pick up another guitar and plug it in. So like I'm not too sold on keeping it in different tunings, but if it's like a microtonal tuning which would require different string gauges, string setups, that could be something interesting. Will I keep this guitar forever? I don't really know, but definitely not planning to sell it off. I've never sold any guitar, by the way, so not in the near future. But if I think of the long term, there is a possibility I might not keep it, but then there's also a possibility that I might make mods to it and it might start to feel better. The red, I'm not sure if it's visible on the camera. This has a slightly, I don't think I hate either of them. Like on the camera, I think it looks much more brighter, whereas this feels much more of a darker red. So that's the idea.